Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Carvel Community Meeting. Today's date is February 23rd, 2023. If you're watching this from home, we encourage you to come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a good opportunity to come meet other members of the community, meet the maintainers, listen in on what the maintainers are working on. You can provide feedback if there's something you need help with, or you have an idea or feature request or anything like that. You can add that to the discussion topic of the agenda, and we will discuss it as a group. And you can also just listen in. You don't necessarily have to engage if you're the type who likes to lurk. We welcome those too. So we hope to see you at the next meeting. If you are unable to join us live, you can still, and you want to reach out to us, you can still find us in other areas in the Carvel channel and the Kubernetes Slack workspace. You can email us. You can find us in GitHub with any of our project repos, and you can find us on Twitter at Carvel_dev. And if you at any point are interacting with us or any members of the community, we ask that you please read and abide by our code of conduct, which is listed in the agenda, but is linked out and throughout all of our repos as well. For those that are on the meeting today and you have something you want to bring up with the team, just make sure to add that to the discussion topic section at the end. If you are using any of the Carvel tools, we do want to know more details about how you're using them. So we created this pinned issue, and it just asks for you to provide a little bit of information on your company that you may be representing, a link to your website, your country, and other information, and your use cases for how you're using any of the Carvel tools. And then optionally, you can add your logo, and we would get that added to the adopters file. So it just helps us and other members of the community understand how people are using the tools, and may help others work with those tools in similar ways. And it also helps the team to maybe think differently in how they develop the tools. So we would appreciate you taking the time and filling that out. And then everyone that's on the call today, just make sure to add your name to the attendees list. We just want to keep track of who's attending these meetings, but if you're uncomfortable doing that, that's totally fine as well. It's very optional. Moving on to announcements. So for those that didn't see a few weeks ago, we put out a survey with several issues attached to each of the tools, asking folks to kind of pinpoint which issues out of each of the tools are most important. And then that helped us narrow down what were the top issues across all the tools. So the top choice in image package, the top choice in cap, so on and so forth. So we had 9 different issues, I believe, to choose from. So we just asked that you help us narrow it down even further, and what is the next issue that the team should work on, and then we would go from there and building out the roadmap. So the deadline to fill this form out, it's just a short survey, is by end of day today. And what I mean by that is like 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So please be sure to fill that out if you haven't already. And I just want to do a huge thank you to members of the community who did provide input on issues and help to create this form. So that's Scott Rosenberg, Thomas Vital. I don't even know if I'm saying your last name right. Robert Van Voorhees, Guillaume, I'm going to butcher that, Birche. But yes, thank you to those. I really appreciate all your guidance and help with that. And I'm sure the community at large really appreciates it as well. Moving on to some content. So since we last met, we had a choose your own adventure with K-Build. And so what this is they are going the CNCF landscape and sort of choosing different tools and how how they interact with each other, and kind of a step-by-step process. So K-Build was featured here. If you want to check that out and get more information and all about K-Build. And this week, as of yesterday, we had one featuring YTT. And thank you to Scott for representing Carvel and presenting YTT. Super appreciate all your help with that and all your efforts. After you go and watch this video, we ask that you go vote. So what that means is you can go add your input here. It's already filled out, but you can see the results that are current right now. And you have 2 days left to vote, so you can vote for any one of these. Of course, we're biased to YTT, but we don't want to, make you vote any one way or the other. So whatever you think should be the top choice, please go do that. Now, upcoming on March 14th at 6:30 p.m., we have the Cloud Native Luxembourg Community Group is hosting Carvel for Intro to Carvel Tooling. It'll be live stream with one of the maintainers presenting, Joao. And so be sure to check that out. And on to recent releases. So we had image package 0.36. Joao.
Thank you, Nancy. All right. So image package was released. Was it like last Friday? Yes, last Friday. So what's new? There was a little bit of an improvement of performance there. Like we realized that there was every time that we tried to get the transports to talk to the registry, we were going to the keychains, and the keychains were doing keychain things. And they were doing it a lot, and the keychains are not caching anything. So like they had to, for example, like go and read the auth from the configuration file from Docker, like every time that we were asking for a transport or something like that, and that was creating problems. And Evan there, they make a PR that made that not the case anymore. So it should improve. It should improve all the requests that are done like after the first one on image package. So that made quite a difference on his use case. So let's hope that this is like a good impact to everybody. Another thing that was changed was API related. So there was like an internally image package as a constructor for Go container registry that we use underneath it as a library. And we were allowing people to pass into that constructor the options for GGCR. And we decided to make a cut clean there. And starting on node 36, there you cannot, you can't anymore send both image package configuration plus Go container registry configuration. So there's a new constructor for it that only allows you to, if you want to use Go container registry, let's call it vanilla, you can, but you'll be responsible for everything. And image package no longer contains like things like some caching that it does and like some niceties that it had before. So that's an internal change. I don't think this is going to affect anybody. It was affecting just, we had like one consumer that was using image package in this way. And because of them, like we found a problem. So we decided to split these interfaces. With this split, we also increased a little bit our V1 API that we are recommending people to use to allow people to pass in a registry that they created so that people can start using the V1 API instead of trying to use, let's call it, random constructors that exist throughout our code, right? Like, so try to focus people to one entry point so that it's easier for us to maintain interfaces, and also to allow people to have like a stable interface that they can talk to when they have like their applications calling image package as a library. I think that was it. A lot of words and pretty nice work that happened here. So thanks, Evan. It was our first contribution to image package as well. So you're on fire there. Does anybody have any question? All right, Nancy, I saw you on mute, so go for it.
Well, you said what I was going to say. I was going to ask if anyone had questions. So thanks, Joelle. And thank you again to Evan for helping out with that. And speaking of contributing and helping, one thing I didn't mention was some of these things that we have listed out in this form. We may not be able to get to all of the ones that we really do want to work on. So we are looking for folks who are interested in actively contributing and building themselves up to becoming a maintainer status. So if you are interested in that, there is a question in that form that asks that, and you can provide your information for me to contact you and start that process. But also feel free to DM me directly in the Kubernetes Slack workspace, and we can provide more information and answer any questions you may have on that. So we would really appreciate all the help we can get. Moving to status updates. So again, project roadmap is currently in a work in progress. So I'm going to just keep beating this down. Please fill out that form, and hopefully we'll have everything ironed out and news to share with you next week as to what we will be working on. Onto the backlog, so stuff that the team has been working on. And who here can give more information about CAP?
I can. So
Great.
this week we are trying to wrap up a few things, and I think the major one is fixing this bug where the number of characters in the app name cannot be more than 63 characters. Like we were just trying to finalize which approach to take, because it also involves backward compatibility for the app changes. So right now we have decided to introduce a new label that will be used in the new app changes. And the new app changes of existing apps would also add this label, and then at a later stage we'll migrate to this new label instead of the legacy one. So this will be like carried over in steps, and we will be wrapping up the first step in this week. There are a couple of smaller issues as well that we are trying to wrap up in this week as well. They were mostly talked about in previous community meetings, so I just didn't include them.
Okay, thanks, Praveen. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, moving on to K control.
Yep, that's me again. So we are trying to add the dry run functionality in K-control. Basically, while installing, like in package install commands, users can try to take a look at the resources that will be applied onto the cluster instead of like directly creating them. So we are just trying to finalize some stuff on the PR and wrap this up.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions or comments? And Praveen, when you say that the dry run issue that Alex raised, what is that referring to?
So actually Alex created this issue. Like he mentioned that something like dry run would be useful for users to like just take a look at the resources, the resource families that will be applied by kcontrol. So it's something similar to what kubectl has, try run equal to client.
Okay. Can you possibly find that issue and make sure it's linked here?
Oh, sure. I can add that.
Great. Okay, great. Thank you.
So Praveen, this will, if I got it right, this will allow us to use dry run and like CI where I don't have a Kubernetes cluster to be able to do like better testing also. Right? I won't need a Kubernetes cluster for this.
Uh,
Dry run.
I think that will be needed. Because
Like, is the dry run just going to run YTT, kbuild, Helm template, all of that locally on my machine and then just keep the YAML, or is it doing anything on my cluster?
no. It's just going to give you the package install YAML that it will apply on the cluster.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Yeah, and thanks, Thomas, for providing that issue. So if you look in the chat, that issue has been linked out there, and then we'll be sure to add it to the agenda as well. Okay, moving on to image package. Joao?
Do you want me to provide the update? Yes. Okay, so I'll do it. Okay. All right. So we've been working on that. There is a PR that a pretty cool guy created in April last year or something like that, or May last year, and it just stayed there staling. And then so I decided to repick it up now that I had a little bit of time. And I do realize that this is going to this will have like quite a big impact when we deploy this, because so like what is this thing, this PR, what does it do? So previously you were able to copy around and describe the signatures created by Cosign. But Cosign does more than just create signatures for your images. It also creates SBOMs, and it also signs those SBOMs, and also creates attestations and sign them. This is all pretty good, but with the PR, we are able to copy all these other artifacts associated with an image and also describe them. So like when I created this PR in the beginning, I overlooked like the huge performance problem that this contains, because now we are going to the registry once to find every signature for every image that you have to see if the signature is there or not. But now we would have to do the same thing for SBOMs, for the signatures of the SBOMs, for the attestation and the signature of the attestation itself. So this would like exponentially increase the amount of requests to the registry. So I'm trying to see if I can do like some performance tweaks here to make sure that this doesn't like completely bring it to a stall image package when you're trying to copy or describe any of these things. So that's basically what I've been working on image package. I think that's it. Look at that, PRs appear out of nowhere. I love HackMD and how magic happens.
So Joel, question, is this now going to be default behavior? Will there be a flag to enable/disable it? What's the...
So like, it's going to be the same way, like we are changing the flag. There was a flag already called cosign signatures, I believe, or I think it was the name of the flag. And first of all, that flag is going to change to become cosign artifacts to better represent everything. So that will be like a breaking change if you're using it. And the default behavior is false. So if you want to copy signatures and so on, you'll have to enable it. Okay. And the same way when you're describing, you need to tell it like just describing, give me the signatures in the SBOMs. So like the idea here is to, like, we don't know like how many people do use cosign signatures right now. So let's keep it conservatively, assuming that you don't. And if you do, you'll have the option. So
Right.
same as behavior as now.
Okay, so the performance degradation, whatever that will be only if I choose to do this. It won't be changing everything in image package.
Correctly. Like I'm doing a change right now that is going to make it a little bit better, because like if we want to go technical here, like instead of searching for every image, I'm just going to go and find all the tags first. And then I know if the images will be there based on the tags. So I'll replace, I think it's going to even make it a little bit better. If you have all the images already in a single repository, we don't have to go like for every single signature. So like if you had like 10 images there, we only need to go to the registry once now, while previously we had to go 10 times. So like it's going to be like an improvement, even though the retrieval of tags takes a little bit of time more than a hand request. It's going to improve, like it's going to be much better when you have much more images. So I'm hoping to have like a little bit of a gain of performance even when you provide when you don't have like a lot of signatures and stuff like that.
Do you know on that, Joe, does the request for tags count to rate limiting? Because head requests don't.
I'm just going to do one, right? So I just need one
Right.
per repository,
Right,
Like
as long as
I'll
there's
do one
one,
for
then.
repository, and then I collect all the tags for that particular repository. I'm going to save that, and then I'm just going to see like, oh, is this tag here? If it is, I'm assuming the signature is there. So like that's the work that's going to happen.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Any other questions, comments for that? Okay, so it looks like we don't have any discussion topics listed out here. Was there anything that someone wanted to bring up that they didn't have a chance to put in the agenda? Okay. All right, well, that concludes this week's Carvel community meeting. Thank you everyone for joining us today and providing your input. And again, as a reminder, please be sure to fill out that form by 11:59 p.m. Pacific time today. We would love to get your input on what the team should be working on next. So we really want to make sure we're getting that community input and you know, contributing and into what the open source community would like to see next. So with that, we hope to see you at the next meeting. Thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.